Bonjour, bonjour. The Pluperfect. Le plus que parfait avec être. Part 2. We jumped into the TARDIS. There it is. We went past the past into the Pluperfect. Le plus que parfait, where we link the imperfect and the perfect together. The pluperfect is used for an action that was completed before another past action started. In English, it's expressed as had done an action. Had plus the past participle. That's the English. For the French, le plus que parfait, we need our super helpful auxiliary verbs, of which there are two. We have avoir, which we have dealt with, and we have être in the imperfect, plus the past participle. We are going to be looking at être because we are dealing today with our VIP verbs, the cliquey group that have être as their auxiliary because they are a really small cliquey group. They don't want to use your common old garden avoir. They want the exclusive être. First of all, we need to conjugate être imperfectly. By the way, être is the only properly irregular verb in the imperfect because we don't use the nous stem. We use étais as the stem. J'étais, tu étais, il, elle, on était. Nous étions, vous étiez, ils, elles, étaient. Sounds like the first three. Silent ENT. VIP past participles. There are not many of these, but they're important verbs because they're used a lot. Aller, venu, from venir, revenu, from revenir, devenu, become, from devenir, arriver, parti. A lot of them are opposites. Aller, venir, arriver, partir. A lot of them are movements. Then we have tomber. Sorti, opposite of sortir, entrer. Come back in or crash into, collide with, rentrer dans. Retourner, when you go back to a place, retourner. And rester is the one that doesn't want to move. Rester, to stay, not to have a rest, to stay, to remain. Monter, descendre. Past participle descendu. Passer means to call in. Quiz, just me. Repasser, to call again. Né, which is the passing through life. Born, être né, from naître. And the end of life. Mourir, past participle mort, feminine morte. I wished that I'd gone with you rather than to Julien's. J'ai souhaité que j'étais allée avec vous, ou toi, plutôt que chez Julien. My parents had arrived the day before from the UK. Mes parents, not parents, mes parents étaient arrivés la veille du Royaume-Uni. So we say the day before. If you think of Christmas Eve, it's la veille de Noël. La veille. Not to be confused with the feminine old vieille. Veille, vieille, veille, the day before. If you want to say the next day, it's le lendemain, which is not the same as tomorrow. La veille, le lendemain. It's feminine before and masculine for the day after, le lendemain. From the United Kingdom, royaume. The king is a roi. Royaume-Uni is masculine. Du Royaume-Uni. Monique had left well before Julien arrived. So we've got two different subjects here. There might be a subjunctive. Monique était partie bien avant que Julien arrive. Often you'd have one of those expletive neus there, bien avant que Julien n'arrive. Don't need to do it in spoken French. But I knew they had come to get you, addressing to. To get, to fetch. Mais je savais qu'il ou qu'elle était venu te chercher. It was like we had come back to the UK. C'était comme si nous étions revenus au, to the masculine, au Royaume-Uni. It was as if the French would say, c'est comme si. C'était comme si on était revenu au Royaume-Uni. To have it had become an obsession for them. All ION words are feminine. L'avoir était devenu une obsession pour eux, pour elles. And what if you had fallen? Addressing to. Et si tu étais tombé? We had gone out to try and find Julien's keys. Nous étions sortis pour, when to means in order to, we say pour essayer de, essayer is followed by de, essayer de trouver les clés de Julien. Another spoken word that's used a lot for to try is to task, tâcher. Nous étions sortis pour tâcher de trouver les clés de Julien. On était sortis pour essayer de, ou de tâcher, with the circumflex, like to task, there used to be an S there, de tâcher de trouver les clés de Julien. I thought you had gone back to the UK, addressing vous. Je croyais que vous étiez retourné au Royaume-Uni. Had he gone in there? Donkey's mouth. What's the pronoun for there? And where does it go? If there's an auxiliary, it goes before the auxiliary. Il y était entré. They had already gone home when I arrived. Ils ou elles étaient déjà rentrés, to go home, rentrer. You could say à la maison, chez eux. Quand je suis arrivée. She had stayed in the United States for, when it's the duration, we use pendant for 12 years. Elle était restée aux États-Unis pendant 12 ans. Remember with être, your past participles agree with the subject. So here we have an extra E because it's elle. I thought everyone had gone up there. Up there. Donkey face. Oh. Je croyais que tout le monde y était monté. Julien had come down from his apartment to see what was happening. Julien était descendu de son appartement, it's often called appart, pour voir ce qui se passait, ce qui arrivait. They had called in to see my cousins, my feminine cousins. Ils ou elles étaient passés voir mes cousines. Masculine cousin, feminine cousine. I thought she was born after the Second World War. Je croyais qu'elle était née après la Deuxième Guerre mondiale. I thought you died. Je croyais que vous étiez mort. Oh, women mortes. Je croyais que tu étais mort. Je croyais que tu étais morte. And there you have your VIP verbs. But some VIP verbs have a double life. Some VIP verbs want to go with avoir. Du, du, du. Verbs that have être as their auxiliary verb are intransitive. They do not have a direct object. A few of them can be used transitively. That means they have a direct object because secretly, this double life, secretly, they like to accessorize. So when you go into their apartment, it's very minimalist, not much about. But when you open the cupboards, some of them have got direct objects tumbling out of the cupboards. That means they're not that posh, they're not that cliquey. And now when they have a direct object, they use avoir as their auxiliary verb. Oh yes, they do. This double life. Not only that, it means quite often the verb changes meaning. Let's have a look. To go out, to come out, to date. Sortir. J'étais sortie avec mes cousines. What does it mean? I had gone out with my cousins. Okay, we're using être. I had gone out. We've got a preposition avec mes cousines. All right, there is no direct object there. But to take something, a direct object, out is sortir quelque chose. Elle avait sorti les clés de son sac à main. Because you are taking out an object, a direct object, now your auxiliary verb is avoir. Elle avait sorti. She had taken out the keys from her handbag. Okay, so it goes from to go, come out, to date, from take out. The verb changes meaning. To go in or come in or to enter is entrer. And if you add the word back, it's rentrer. Or to go home is rentrer in French. Il était entré. Often they use rentrer interchangeably dans le magasin. Okay, he had gone into the shop or gone back into the shop. Rentrer is one of those that's funny. They often use rentrer instead of entrer. However, to take something back, to bring something back, is entrer or rentrer quelque chose. We've got the basket. And yes, we're going to use avoir because we have a direct object. J'avais entré or j'avais rentré le linge. So I had brought the washing in or back in. Direct object. Use avoir. To go back somewhere is retourner quelque part. Retourner is to go back somewhere else. Revenir is to come back here. That one's over there, that one's here where you are now. Ils étaient retournés en France. They had gone back to France. But to turn something over, like a page, for instance, is retourner quelque chose. Now we have a direct object. We need avoir. Monique avait retourné la page. Monique had turned the page over. Or turned over the page, we can say in English. A common mistake that people make even after doing French for a long time is when it comes to talking about giving something back, returning an object. They'll say retourner, and you can't use retourner for an object unless you are literally turning it over, flipping it on its back, flipping it over. If you are giving back an object, it's a different verb. Rendre. Got the boomerang, it's coming back. Rendre quelque chose. Not retourner. Elle avait déjà rendu les clés. This is a normal verb, it goes with avoir. She'd already given back, returned the keys. To go, pass through, call in is passer. Couille! It's that kind of passer. Couille, I'm here. And it takes être. Nous étions passés devant le parc. We passed in front of the park. Okay. Elle était passée par la porte. We've got these prepositions. Devant, par. She'd walked through the door. They take être. But if it's a direct object, there's no preposition in the way. Elle avait passé la porte. We use avoir. She'd passed the door. She'd walked past the door. Also, passer, when using avoir, means to spend, as in to spend time. Time is the direct object. J'avais passé le week-end à Paris. False friend alert! Because passer un examen means to sit or to take an exam, not to pass. Not to get a good grade, not to get a good enough grade to pass. It means to actually physically take the exam, to sit the exam. And it takes avoir. Elle avait déjà passé son examen means she'd already taken, she'd already sat her exam. To pass an exam is to succeed an exam in French. What's to succeed? The one beginning with an R. Réussir un examen. Okay, to fail an exam. Remember, to fail or to miss. We've got rater un examen. Manquer. Manquer, hey, manquer. Manquer magic. Manquer un examen. Hey, pixie. Or this one is, sounds like you're sneezing. Échouer un examen. To fail an exam. Échouer, bless you, un examen. Okay. Now we go to go, pass back through, to call in again. It's me again, couille. Repasser. Julien était repassé cet après-midi. Julien had called back in this afternoon. But to iron or redo an exam, repasser takes avoir. Because you've got a direct object. J'avais repassé ma robe pour la sortie de ce soir. I had ironed my dress for this evening's outing. To go up, to come up, to climb, monter. Takes être. Elle était montée dans sa chambre. Okay, we've got dans. Preposition. She'd gone up into her bedroom. But if you take something, a direct object, we need avoir. Monter quelque chose. Or if you climb something. If you like watching Le Tour de France, and we've had it here in Yorkshire, Tour de Yorkshire, it's monter la côte, to go up an incline. La côte can mean coast or it can mean an incline. Okay? And when Le Tour came to Yorkshire, I took great amusement in hearing very Yorkshire names on the TV, and now they're climbing Côte de Blubberhouses. Okay. Il avait déjà monté ta valise. He'd already taken up your suitcase. J'avais monté la côte 2 fois ce matin. I had climbed the hill twice that morning, the incline. Monter also means to set up. Think of it as setting up your IKEA furniture or setting up a business. Il avait monté son affaire en 10 mois. He had set up his business in 10 months. What's the difference between en 10 mois and dans 10 mois? En means within the time frame, en 10 mois, within the time frame of 10 months. If you said dans 10 mois, it would be in the future. I'm coming to France in 2 weeks. Je viens dans 2 semaines. But I did my exam in 2 hours. J'ai passé mon examen en 2 heures. To go down, to come down, to get off, to get down from a train. Descendre, to descend. Elles étaient descendues dans la cuisine. Using être, they had gone down into the kitchen. But if you take a direct object down, a thing down, if you take it downstairs, or if you go down the incline or down the stairs, descendre quelque chose. We need avoir. Il avait descendu le vin à la cave. He had taken down the wine to the cellar. Il avait descendu les escaliers. Okay? He'd come down the stairs. So some of our VIP verbs have a double life. When they accessorize, they use avoir. Merci. À la prochaine fois.